Freedom Marchers, Freedom Family, Freedom Lovers, and Freedom Fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla is in the building. And yeah, I'm going to do this real quick because yo, my bad, y'all. Wifey called as soon as I started the live. Perfect timing, right? Salute to Stormy B Man and Queen Sister Cameron. Salute to y'all. We're gonna get into this real quick, man, because this is some bullshit. Now, I was supposed to do this live stream at 2 o'clock. I thought I'd be leaving work by 2 o'clock, but that didn't happen. So, you know, it is what it is. Why? Yeah, that's funny because as soon as I left, as soon as I started the live stream, yes, wifey got to keep tabs. So, and she had to remind me that we got the farmers market today. We go to the farmers market every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So she had to remind me. Anyway, it's cute what wives do. Anyway, so and salute to Stormy B Man and Queen Sister Cameron stepping in the building, and anybody that comes through. Stormy B Man went in on Daniel Dubois on Saturday night, or was that Sunday morning? I watched it Sunday morning. So, did you premiere that Saturday night? Did you do that Saturday night or Sunday morning? I watched it Sunday morning. Whatever the case may be, Stormy B Man was fed up with boxing for a couple days, so he took some time off, and I understand it. Now, in those couple days since then, there have been more shambles going on. There have been more shenanigans in regards to this Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. fight. And yes, post-fight show on Saturday night, yes. Now, he took time off because Daniel Dubois was ass, and he didn't understand why. I didn't understand it either, right? And altogether, it's probably a cumulative effect of just boxing just being retarded right now. And it seems to be snowballing because we had this nonsense about Brian Norman Jr. Wanting to wait 2 weeks to to enroll in VADA and all this bullshit, which is bullshit, right? Just sign the paperwork and get it popping. And the Normans have been on this circuit pushing a narrative that Devin is trying to get out of the fight. But Devin, the Haneys made sure the fight got signed in the first fucking place. So now they're trying to convince people that, oh, they're trying to get out of it, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Mind the man, Samusa, salute to you. Salute to you, Shelton. Shelton, LWC or nothing, salute to you this afternoon. Good and goddamn. The Haneys essentially have reached out to get y'all a payday, and you guys are acting like you trying to act like they're trying to get out of the fight by making you do extra drug testing. Now, I understand trying to push the fight, promoting the fight, creating drama around it to sell the fight. I understand that. But at some point, we have to take a step back. We have to take a step back and think about what we're putting out there. How do we want to sell this fight? How do we want to create drama around the fight? If I were the Normans, there are ways to push the fight rather than making people suspicious of whether or not you're on PDs. That has to be the dumbest way. That has to be the most retarded way, in my opinion. I don't know the Normans. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. Right? If I were the Normans, and they ain't got to listen to me, what I would do is talk about how I'm gonna knock the fuck out of Devin Haney. How I'm gonna lay him out. I would focus on that. I would show some work. I would show myself punching a heavy bag with Devin's face on it. I would show myself whatever you got to do. The problem is that with this Ryan Garcia drug cheat and all that nonsense, and with Ryan Garcia drug cheat being a drug cheat against Devin Haney, and people pushing this this bullshit narrative about Ryan Garcia being set up. Now, he started it, and people took it and ran with it. Oh, Ryan Garcia was set up. Oh, it wasn't that much in the system. Oh, it was contaminated. Oh, the hair follicle test cleared him. All this bullshit. And then, when it was confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt that Ryan Garcia is indeed a drug cheat, it became about the left hook. Oh, Devin couldn't get out of the way of the left hook. Oh, I'm not concerned about Ryan Garcia being on drug cheats, being on performance-enhancing drugs. I'm worried about Devin's performance. Oh, Ryan Garcia being a drug cheat is on the lowest end of the totem pole. You have these content creators out here spreading this bullshit amongst the fandoms, right? Amongst the fandoms. And more importantly, amongst the people that hate Devin Haney. It sells to be a Devin Haney hater. If you have content, if you're a content creator, it sells to be a Devin Haney hater. And now we have gotten to this dangerous place where people are saying that people in the world of boxing, people that have boxers as sons that put their son in the ring every few months and puts their lives on the line. You have people like Schofield telling people, well, if you got enough skill, you should be able to beat the drug cheat. It shouldn't matter if they own PEDs, if you got skill. This is what we're telling people. So when it comes time for Brian Norman Jr. to get off his ass and sign up for drug cheating, can I wait 2 weeks? Oh, can he wait 2 weeks? Blah, blah, blah. No, you can't wait fucking 2 weeks. You gotta sign up now. But that's not enough, is it? It's not enough for Brian Norman Jr. to just sign up and say, okay, because apparently that's what he said. Like, he didn't have a problem signing up for VADA when Devin wanted him to. After Devin said, nah, you got to do it right now. Reportedly, he said, okay, I'll do it. So then why aren't we saying that? Why aren't we just leaving it at that? Why aren't we just saying, you know what, I signed up. It is what it is. We're going to fight Devin on November 22nd. I am now fully enrolled in VADA. Right? Instead of saying that, we got to say, well, you know, Victor Conte is with the Haneys, and the Haneys is blah, blah, blah. They on SNACC, ain't they? Conte is with SNACC, ain't he? And then you say, oh, well, you know, if I test positive, that's going to look crazy, right? That's going to look crazy. That's going to put Devin and Victor Conte under suspicion if I test positive. So now you preemptively creating a conspiracy about you testing positive. Storm B-Man says if you have locks on doors, a home on your car, you don't need alarm services for added security. Exactly. It makes no sense. You lock the door, all that shit. You add every precaution you can. And the Haney's wanting that drug testing as soon as you sign up to fight them, it's just a little extra precaution. If you're clean, you just sign up. Now, there are those out there that are closer to the Normans than I am that believe that Brian Norman Jr. was just saying that to sell the fight. Okay, if that's what you believe, that's fine. I don't believe that. I am now suspicious. Red flags have gone up for me. I don't, you know, it is what it is. I don't know the Normans. If y'all trust, because multiple people have said that by now. If y'all believe that that's what they're doing, whatever. Hey, if that's what he's doing, that's what he's doing. But I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that Brian Norman Jr. is a clean fighter. I can't say that. I can't say it. And every time they open their mouths in the Norman camp and shit like this happens, you tell people if you test positive, well, your shit got tampered with and there's some shit going on and all that other shit. I'm going to look at you side-eyed. That's just me. I can't trust you until you take the test. Until you pass every single test. From now and until after you fight Devin, I'm going to be under suspicion. Because there are ways to beat the test. Especially if you're not cutting weight so far at that point in time. But once you get closer to the fight night and you have to cut a bunch of weight, we know what happens with certain performance-enhancing drugs. Other performance-enhancing drugs, well, they won't be detected that way. They have ways to beat the test now. They have ways to do microcycles. They do small cycles where you microdose. They have ways you can flush it from your system. You can use IVs. There are a lot of different things you can do to beat that test. The testing is not 100% foolproof. But at least it makes it that much more difficult for a fighter to get away with being dirty. But we don't want that in the sport now, do we? Because Devin Haney wants it. Devin Haney wants clean fighting. So if Devin Haney wants it, we gotta want the opposite. We gotta ask questions like, well, why do they need an extra weeks? Everybody else does it 8 weeks out. Why do we got to do it 20 weeks out or 22 weeks out? Why this? Why that? Why do we need the extra drug testing? You got Mill City out there talking about the Haneys are trying to add rules. This is all bullshit. And I blame content creators that were spreading this bullshit last year when Ryan Garcia popped dirty. And they were running around telling everybody that the test, whatever Ryan Garcia was on, didn't matter. Him popping dirty didn't matter. That didn't matter. This didn't matter. All that mattered was Devin got hit by the left hook. But Brian Norman Jr. and the Normans in general are out here now. They are carrying this narrative on. And they haven't even had their first test yet. They are, okay, so if you believe that Victor Conti is still rocking with Vada, if you still think that Devin is with SNACC, which he's not, Devin is not with SNACC anymore, but this is what we're pushing. No one's asking these questions. Well, is Devin still with SNACC? Is Devin still using SNACC for strength and conditioning and all this other shit? Is he still on the SNACC program? Are we asking these questions or are we just taking it and run with it? You got, I mean, it's also good, right? Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and it is the best exposer of the bullshit. He's on the Porterway podcast, and Sean Porter, before they even have the discussion, right? When they start having the discussion about the PED shit, Sean Porter is saying that he said he believed that Devin was trying to get out of the fight. Oh, I think Devin trying to get out of it. He's trying to get out of it. So now they're spreading the narrative that Devin wants testing because they want to get out of the fight. The level of common sense with these individuals is lacking, or there's another option. Either they're retarded or they're intellectually dishonest. I'm leaning more toward the latter. They are intellectually dishonest because they fucking know better. They know better. They know that drug testing is important. Guys like Sean Porter, Sean Zeitel, and these other clowns, Tim McCoon Bradley, all these guys, Andre, son of Goof Ward, these people know that drug testing is important. They know that PED usage is a problem in the sport, in many sports. But they'll come at y'all with these, what they call it, sunken cost fallacies, right? Y'all know what sunken cost fallacies are. Stephen A., salute to you. J-Man, salute. Good afternoon, guys. The sunken cost fallacy. Oh, well, you know, there's already a lot of PED users in competitive sports. Oh, it's already going on. Everybody already using PEDs. That's what Tyson Fury said, right? A lot of fighters and a lot of athletes have said this stupid shit, and people actually think that that's okay. Then, okay, well, we already got all these PED users, so we might as well just allow more people to use PEDs. That's the sunken cost fallacy. Oh, I already lost $10,000 at Vegas. I got $20,000 more to blow. Let me just go ahead and bet some more. I'm on a $20,000 losing streak. I already lost it, so I might as well lose more money. It's fucking stupid. But this is what the masses believe. They believe this bullshit. They think that Devin's trying to get out of the fight because he wants testing. They signed a contract. They signed a fucking contract, and thus they want the fight to happen. They wouldn't sign the contract if they didn't want to fight. They wouldn't go through all the bullshit they went through just to get the Normans on board in the first fucking place. Yeah, you know what we were gonna do? This was Bill in strategy. You know what? I don't want to fight Brian Norman. We don't want to fight him. What we'll do is we'll put them on the list. We'll have Turkey send them an offer. We'll waste Turkey's time. Yeah, let's waste Turkey's time. We'll waste Turkey's time having him send Brian Norman an offer, and then we'll make the we'll sign our side first, so it doesn't look like we don't want to fight. Then we'll make Turkey offer whatever he want to offer, and then when the Normans start acting weird and start acting like they don't want to sign right now, we'll play like this bullshit. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Why go through all that? Have both sides sign a contract and then say, oh well, looks like we signed a contract now. Now we got to get out of it. How do we get out of this fight? And Bill says, you know what? We'll tell them to test today. We'll tell them to sign up for VADA today. They won't want to do it. And then we'll tell. It's bullshit. And apparently, the Norman team, I don't know what they got going on with Adrian Clark and these people that negotiate their fucking contracts. It doesn't make any fucking sense. No one knows anything over there. Brian Norman Sr. doesn't know what Adrian Clark is doing. Adrian Clark doesn't, like, I'm hearing that Adrian Clark and somebody else in Norman's team was aware that the contract included the Normans, Brian Norman Jr. having the test, sign up for VADA as soon as he signs the contract. It's in the contract, from what I'm hearing. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I hear that even Brian Norman said, oh, well, we weren't sure until recently that, like, what are we doing? We don't know what we're signing. We don't know what we're signing. The Normans have had shown a track record of delaying shit for this fight. They have a track record of that since they started talking about it. The Normans have been bullshitting. The Norman team have been bullshitting, going around, going to every goddamn podcast and every goddamn YouTube creator, saying different things and contradictory shit. They and taking forever to sign their side of the contract, but telling us, oh, well, we got the contract first and then Bill got it. Devin got it after we did. Well, we know that's bullshit. At the end of the day, they were trying to get a little more money out of Turkey to make this fight happen. They wanted to optimize their reward for the risk of fighting Devin Haney. At the end of the day, that's what the fuck happened. What did Bill say during that whole fiasco? We signed our side. Everywhere he went, even through all the bullshit where they're going back and forth, Brian Norman Sr. and Bill, and they going in on each other, and Bill's calling his mama a hoe, and whatever the fuck is going on, Bill is saying we signed our side. So now we come to sign up for fucking VADA testing. Oh, can we wait 2 weeks? Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But if someone tells you that you're supposed to fight, you need to fight signed up for VADA testing right now. And you say, no, I'm gonna wait 2 weeks. Which individual is creating problems for this fight to happen? Who is the one putting the fight at risk? The guy that you agreed to fight, that told you you will test as soon as we sign the fight, and you will sign up for VADA testing immediately. The guy that said that, or the guy that said, nah, let me wait 2 weeks, and then went on a circuit to bash the Haneys and tell everybody they're trying to get out of this fight. And then you tell people, if I test positive, well, shit. I mean, that means, hey, if I test positive, hey, Victor Conte and Devin, you know, oh, they was in cahoots to fuck. Like, what are we talking about?
On shoulder ahead.
Oh, but this is just a ploy to sell the fight. Well, if it's a ploy to sell the fight, it's very risky, right? Because now you're putting the fight in doubt. You're telling people that Devin will pull out of the fight. How is that selling the fight if you're telling people Devin's going to duck? Devin's trying to get out of the fight. It's going to make it appear, you know, because people are stupid. The casuals that they are appealing to, because that's what they're doing. They're appealing to the casual. They're appealing to the casual because they know, well, and let me explain something to y'all. Appealing to the casual does not sell pay-per-views, and it does not sell tickets. It does not sell pay-per-views. It does not sell tickets at the gate. You know what it sells? You know what? Content creator. Because it brings views, which leads to AdSense, which leads to super chats, which leads to this and that. You're creating drama for the channel when you push this bullshit that the Brian Norman team is pushing. YN says, what a weirdo. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. When you go on these channels, Brian Norman Jr., and you spread this bullshit, you tell people that, oh, if you test positive, it's because of Devin and goddamn Victor Conte. You are putting the fight in doubt, in reality.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder.
You are creating a fiasco of the fight. You're not making people want to see it. You're making people want Devin to pull out. You're putting it out there in the universe and in the atmosphere that Devin is going to pull out of this fight. It is similar tactics to Ryan Garcia. It brings a lot of views and it brings a lot of revenue to the content creators that are talking about the fight before it happens. But it's not doing anything to bring any attention to your fight. Because no one is talking about who's going to win. No one's breaking down the fight. No one's talking about that. Y'all are talking about PD. Y'all talking about conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories and, oh, Devin's not going, he want to get out of the fight. He ain't going nowhere. Instead of bringing focus to the fight itself, getting people excited about the fight, talking about Brian Norman's left hook, right? Talking about Brian Norman's ability to his power in both hands, talking about Devin's ability to use his footwork to stay out of range of Brian Norman's power shots, talking about Brian Norman gassing, Brian Norman's stamina lacking, talking about Devin using the same tactics that he used against Loma to break Brian Norman down to the body, down to the body throughout the fight, picking his shots, sniping that body. Instead of talking about Brian Norman pressing the action early in the fight and trying to get a knockout early, being the only possibility for Brian Norman Jr. to win, you're not talking about that. You're talking about, oh, but Victor Conte is SNACC. Why are we talking about SNACC and Victor Conte again? Do we not have the ability to talk about the fight? Do we not have the ability to talk about, let's look at the last 3 fights of Brian Norman Jr. and look at the last 3 fights of Devin Haney and see who has the best opportunity to win. Get excited about that. You want to draw the casuals in, I ain't got no problem with that. Draw the casuals in and educate them about the sport. Get them excited about boxing. Yes, you have a boxer against a boxer puncher, allegedly. I still will not call Brian Norman Jr. a boxer puncher. People want to do that because he's black and he used some good footwork every now and then. But who has Brian Norman Jr. going up against to demonstrate that he's a boxer puncher? And when he went up against a boxer, he got tips put on him. Why are we're not talking about that. We're not asking, at least I haven't seen it. Has anyone asked Brian Norman Jr. how he's going to deal with Devin's footwork? How that, is there any similar fighter to Devin Haney that you fought Brian Norman Jr. that gave you the look that you got to say? Oh, don't say no more. What the hell is going on? Can y'all hear me? Can someone put a Romeo Lima Charlie in the chat if y'all can hear? All right, thank you, prize fighter. Thank you. But think about that, man. Why can't we talk about that shit? Thank you, Stephen X. Salute to you, by the way. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Can we, listen, man. I get it, man. We want to bring some drama. Let's create drama. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, but we are putting the excitement about the fight itself to the back burner to talk about some shit that should be as simple as 1 + 2 = 3. We want to question and have long ass live streams, and we want to drag this shit on about, shit, where am I at? These motherfuckers, man. Oh, I'm good. We want to talk about, we want to waste people's time about Why should Brian Norman Jr. have to sign up for extra testing and extra this and extra testing and excessive testing and adding rules and all this bullshit? It's simple. Devin said, when you fight him, you will sign up. When you sign up to fight him, you will sign up for VITA testing immediately. So when you agree to fight him, when you say, you know what, I'm going to fight you, Devin, understand you're going to sign up for testing as soon as you sign to fight him. And he's going to pay for the extra testing that you receive. And that's it. That's it. All right, we got that out the way. Let's talk about the fight. Let's build the fight up that way. You want to build the fight up with drama from outside the ring drama. You want to bring that. You want to use that to push the fight. Let's say Brian Norman Jr. Exactly, Stormy B, man. No free meals no more. Let's say Brian Norman Jr. was trying to push this narrative because he wanted to sell the fight. Why is that the way he has to do it? Is it because he doesn't know how he's going to beat Devin? Is he afraid to talk about that? Is he kind of like, okay, well, I don't really know how I'm going to beat Devin. So I don't want nobody asking me real questions about that. How dangerous Devin is to Brian Norman Jr. Because understand, and this is my opinion, but it's based on what I've seen, Devin is more dangerous to Brian Norman Jr. than Brian Norman Jr. is to Devin. Because Devin has been through the fire. The first time he went through that fire was against Lomachenko. Well, you know what? You might want to say Linares. You might say okay, Linares gave him a problem toward the end of that fight. He wobbled him. And the reason that's important is because Devin took one on the chin and he had an opportunity to show how he could recover. Then he went through the fire with Lomachenko, who swarmed him, right? Lomachenko swarmed him, you know what I'm saying? But Devin was able to break him down and pick his shots and made that matter. Devin made it matter how he broke down Lomachenko. He made it really matter. But Lomachenko had moments. So in those moments, Devin went through the fire. And those few moments that Loma had were dazzling enough. Right, Loma was dropped by, yes, exactly. Loma was dropped by Linares. Exactly. Now, did Devin drop Loma? No, he didn't need to. But we know what happened to Loma. So when Loma had those moments in that fight, when Loma had those moments, and I don't want to get too far into it because I got to talk about this tomorrow. When Devin had those moments, or when Loma had those moments, Devin still finished the round strong. In those moments, during those rounds that they gave to Loma, in the rounds I gave to Loma, he just had moments in those rounds, and Devin was still able to finish strong. He made what he did matter. But then he goes on, he mastered how to fight a southpaw. He did great work against the southpaw, against Loma, with positioning. The positioning was great. He was able to position himself in a particular way that took away a lot of Loma's weapons. Brian Norman Jr. has never done anything like that in his career. Yes, Story B man, he did. He tenderized them ribs like it was, boy, let me tell you, like a Mac rib. He tenderized, you know, the Mac rib ain't got no bones in them. That's what Devin beat the bones out them ribs. He beat the bones. He filleted them ribs from the outside in. But then Devin goes on to face Who he fight after? He goes on the Regis program. Another southpaw, a dangerous southpaw at 140. That people try to minimize his resume. You know, they try to downplay Regis. But, you know, Regis was the WBC champion at one, a real champion. He dropped Regis. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Regis program is just a flat-footed motherfucker. Before Devin, Regis was a boxer puncher. But after Devin, he's just a puncher who, you know, he flat-footed. What? No one was saying that. Everybody thought Regis program was gonna knock Devin out. Oh, Devin's a weight bully. You see how it works? He went through that fire and came out, you know, unsinged. He didn't get singed in that fire, but he went through it. He had that wet blanket on, and he just walked, he strolled right on through. Then he comes to Ryan Garcia. He has stepped into the ninth circle of hell with Ryan Garcia. The ninth circle of hell. That's what he did against Ryan Garcia. He got knocked down a few times, took those left hooks, got up every single fucking time. They try to tell you, oh, he got knocked down 5 times and all, right? Nevertheless, he got up every single time, and he finished the fight on his feet. He went through the ninth circle of hell and came out standing. Came out standing. And then finds out, what did he say after he lost? Allah is the perfect planner. He makes no mistakes. That's what he said. And he said he wanted to run it back. This is a man that went through the ninth circle of hell with Ryan Garcia and didn't even know it was the ninth circle until Ryan Garcia popped dirty. And when Ryan Garcia popped dirty, they still found a way to blame Devin. So not only has Devin been through hell and been through the fire in the ring, he's been through the fire out the ring. You know, with everybody, with the masses, right? With all the, you know, with all the content creators going against him, with all the casuals that cling to these content creators, to all these people. And he had a circle of people that did their best to shield him from the bullshit. The LDBC. And it was still overwhelming. Devin been through the fire. Here comes Brian Norman Jr. No one gave a shit about him until he was supposed to fight Devin. Even when he was trying to fight Boots, he did not get the attention that he got right now. It's like the BFTB said it. No one, he's right. No one gave a fuck about Brian Norman Jr. until Devin put him on the hit list. Until they started negotiating to fight Devin, and we went through all that bullshit. We went through all that bullshit for them to finally complete their end. And now they want to create more bullshit. They want to promote the fight with bullshit. They think this is going to bring eyes and asses to seats. Well, I suggest you look at the history of Ryan Garcia versus Devin. And no one really talked about Devin not wanting to fight Ryan Garcia or Devin getting ready to pull out, making it to the fight. So when you talk about these things and you say these things like that, you say, no one's going, he's going to pull out. Oh, he don't want to fight. Why would people even want to invest? You got one of the fighters spreading this bullshit. He's tainting the fight, in my opinion. Brian Norman Jr. with that bullshit is tainting the fight and enriching the content creators that entertain that bullshit. Those are the people that are going to make money off of that narrative. They're going to get millions of views. They're going to get shared out. They're going to go viral. They're going to get all the AdSense and the super chats. Because if there's one thing that will enrich a content creator in the sport of boxing, is finding an avenue down which to hate on Devin. Exactly, Stormy B, man. Total ignorance. Stephen X said Allah is the perfect planner. Absolutely. They are paving a road built on sand toward this fight. You know it was good for the buildup of the fight when Devin and Devin's team and Brian Norman's team clash at that presser, before the presser and all that. That's what did that. That's a good way to help build the fight. You know, I mean, but they're gonna do what they want. You wanna spread this bullshit about, you wanna suggest that Devin's on PEDs and, you know, Devin's gonna set you up to pop dirty and all. Like, it doesn't make any sense, because if there is a fear that Devin has a way to contaminate your testing and make you pop dirty, why would you even fight him? Why even sign up to fight Devin if you believe that? Why even do it? Why even put yourself at risk? If you believe what happened, what they say had happened to Ryan, if you believe Ryan Garcia and you think it might happen to you, why even risk it? For the money? Because it's going to be your biggest payday? I mean, you're putting your career at risk at that point. Look what happened to Ryan Garcia. That motherfucker popped dirty. Yeah, it helped him for a while. You know, he was able to, everybody praised him and uplifted him and all this other shit. But when it came time to fight Rolly Romero, well, where were the pay-per-views for that? Did he crack 1 million? Did it crack? That's what I'm saying. You cater to them damn casuals, thinking that in the moment that you make them excited, that it's going to translate down the road when the fight actually happens. It doesn't work like that. Of the challenge, one fighter, one elite fighter, is challenging another elite fighter or another dangerous fighter. Or you have an elite boxer going up against a devastating puncher that has all of a sudden one punch knockout ability all of a sudden. But hey, we ain't gonna talk about that. And my Wilder's brother. So when you, that is what, to me, in my opinion, sell that. Sell the idea that Devin is going up against a dangerous puncher and Brian Norman is going up against a skilled, cerebral boxer that he might even get the land on, or that he might get too tired to even, you know, he might blow his wad in the first 3 rounds. And then what? He's going to get pieced up. Sell that. How do you overcome that? How do you overcome the shortcomings you had when you fought Jin Sasaki? Yeah, everybody in the moment, they blew recency bias, they blew your head up, knockout of the year, all that. But you're gonna have to take a step back. Your coaches and your trainers are gonna have to bring your ass back down to reality and make you aware of what happened in that fight. Right? Let's look at that. Well, you're next. Devin is not going to give you the opportunities that Jin Sasaki gave you. He's not. So how do we overcome that? You don't want to give the game plan, right? But you can say, hey man, I'm working on, I know Devin is a hell of a boxer. I know he's very cerebral. I know that he has great footwork, but we're working on that. You ain't even got to talk about your stamina. You don't want to put yourself out there. I understand that. But talk about how you're going to overcome without giving too much away. Now they got to wait and see, like, oh shit, I can't wait to see what Brian Norman Jr. has up his sleeve for Devin. And Devin, he can talk about the same thing. Oh, well, I know that Brian Norman Jr., he's a hell of an athlete. I know he's a hell of a puncher. I know he's not super flat-footed. I know he's not as flat-footed as some other punchers. So I know that he's going to be explosive. I know he has that leaping left hook, similar to Roy Jones Jr. that could lay my ass out. So I'm working on things to mitigate that. Storm B-Man says, how's Victor Conte, Bill, and Devin Haney have the abilities to enter other fighters' camps? yeah, taint their food and drinks and all, because they don't. But this is what people will have you believe. And now, instead of Brian Norman Jr. just saying, man, you know, I was on vacation. You know, I didn't want to deal with that at that moment, and I just asked for a couple weeks. No, he's got to spread this bullshit. It's bad for the sport. Yeah, he might be trying to sell the fight. He might be trying to promote, but it's not good, man. It's not good. You want people to not think it's okay to pop dirty. You don't want people to give you excuses. You don't want people to give you a pass. You don't want people giving these fighters a pass for popping dirty. And when they pop dirty, they think, well, maybe Victor Conte did have something to do with it. Brian Norman Jr. did say 2 months ago that it's not smart. We're trying to clean up the sport. We want to clean up the sport. We don't want to give avenues and ways for these fighters to get around using PEDs and getting caught. Right? Instead of saying, oh, well, this guy popped dirty. Let's hold him accountable. No, what we're going to say is, well, Victor Conte, SNACC, Devin Haney, it's weak as fuck. But guess what? It tells these fighters, like the 7th fighter in the Reynoso camp, we're not talking about that, right? Oh, people talked about that for a couple days. They talked about that for a couple days.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
Oh, well, yeah. Eddie Reynoso had the 7th fighter in his camp pop dirty. Moving along. Oh, but Devin been on SNACC. And they're going to carry that through. Man, they're going to be on this shit. Until the fight, after the fight, 2 years after the fight. Every time Devin fights, they're going to talk about SNACC. They're going to talk about Victor Conte. They're going to talk about this, that, and the third. Fred, I wouldn't worry about it. See, Stormy B-Man could be writing for people in the chat. Doesn't mean he's writing for me. People can write whatever they want in there. If I decide to read a paragraph, it's my responsibility to pick and choose what I do and not distract myself. Because like I said, he could be writing for me, he could be writing for people in the chat, he could be writing for both. It's okay. Yeah, exactly. With the rhymes, with the rhyme quotes, using his talking points. Mind the man Samusa. See how this shit expands, and it's too much. Ryan Garcia popped dirty, and the Haneys accused Victor Conte, accused Super Carb, accused Perfect Amino, accused
Approaching a
Ashwagandha,
railroad crossing.
all these entities and people of contaminating his test. But at the end of the day, was not able to prove it. But we did prove that Ryan Garcia was a drug cheat. But to this day, we're still accusing these people of contaminating Ryan Garcia's drug test. We're accusing them of tainting Brian Norman Jr.'s drug test in the future. And Brian Norman Jr. pushing this narrative along, this false narrative, shout out to Champside, pushing this false narrative along to the public, to the masses, is completely irresponsible. This is the bottom line, Brian Norman Jr. You signed up. You signed a contract to fight Devin. You knew that you would have to sign up for VADA testing immediately. You tried to pull a fast one and wait 2 weeks. Devin said, oh, no, hell no. You gonna sign up today or we're not fighting. You signed up. That is what happened. That is what happened. You signed up for VADA testing. We don't want to hear nothing else about drug testing unless we hear that you took a test this day and it came back positive a few days later. I want to see positive result emails. That's what I want to see. I don't want to hear nothing about no goddamn Victor Conti. Victor Conti does not work for VADA. VADA does not test. They send the test to WADA. I mean, these are things that we should be telling people if we are experts in the field, like a Porter, like a Sean Porter and Sean Zeitel and these guys. We should be explaining to the audience, as not me obviously, but I am. No, there is a chain of custody. VADA is not a testing facility. They don't have testing facilities. They use WADA testing facilities. VADA facilitates the collection of the samples. They don't touch the samples at all. They don't handle the samples. They don't go to the house. No, they hire third parties to collect the samples. And those third parties put that shit in a shipping thingy and they ship it to the lab. And when it gets to the lab, the tester doesn't know whose sample belongs to whom. But we're not telling people that. We're telling people, oh yeah, oh that Victor Conti. Oh my God, Victor Conti and VADA. This is what Sean Porter is saying. What? That does not help Brian Norman Jr. It does not help Devin. It does not help sell this fight. What it does is it brings traffic to the Porter Way podcast. What it does is it brings traffic to Mill City. It brings traffic to Punch Dump. It brings traffic to these guys that hate Devin Haney so much that they will go ahead and push the bullshit because it brings them revenue. At the end of the day, that's what this is about. They're making money talking about this shit in the wrong way. Not educating people, but selling a narrative. Selling a narrative. That's what they're doing. Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. No, they didn't bring up WADA. But they for whatever reason, I don't understand it, man. They have a responsibility. I don't know what's going on with this. Anyway, y'all. I gotta get out of here, man. I just pulled up to the house. But thank you for coming through. Thank you for stopping by. Queen Sister Cameron, Stormy B, man, Mind the Man Sabusa, listening for Jesus. Salute to you. Stephen X, Down syndrome Jesus. Uncle's on meth again. That's what's up. Everybody got an uncle that's on meth. It's all good. Wayne Schultz was good. Salute to you. Fred, all y'all. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. I hope that we can put this shit to bed, but I don't know. I'm disappointed in Brian Norman Jr. for pushing this bullshit because, I mean, it's coon level. I'm just say that because what you're doing is you're buying into this bullshit that Ryan Garcia had his shit tampered with by Victor Conte. That's what you're doing against your brother that gave you an opportunity to make millions of dollars to fight him. But hey, he's just selling the fight, man. You know, so it is what it is. Thank you guys for coming through. Much love. Like, share, subscribe, and make sure y'all keep pushing forward toward freedom. Peace.